All right. All right, so today we're going to talk a little bit about the online communities, but I kind of want to take a step back and explain how site systems work before we dive into that. So there are two core membership systems. We have CITE.org, which is our what we call an AMS or Association Management Software. I liken it to an SIS. It's our information system for our members, but it also is our CMS or content management solution for our website. So our CITE.org is really where you go to get information about CITE or to update your personal information on your profile. Our online communities are community.cite.org. And so that's kind of where you go to engage with the community. So if you ever get lost in, you can always look back to the domain. Community.cite.org is how you get involved with the community. And cite.org is where you find information about CITE or update your personal profile. Our online communities use single sign-on for our website or our AMS. So any of the information that you have on your profile on cite.org, I shouldn't say any of it, a lot of it is synced over to the online communities, and that's how we get that information. So I know sometimes, people might be like, people might go into the online communities and try to make changes to their profile in there, but the reason why it's grayed out and you can't change certain fields is because it's automatically synced over from your profile on cite.org. And just real quick, for those of you who joined late, we are recording and this will be posted. So if you missed that first spiel, you'll be able to go back and listen to it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump into the communities and kind of go through a little bit of everything with you and go through the navigation so that way you understand kind of how everything works. You do need to have a cite.org profile in order to access the online communities, which looking at the registration, I think most of you already do, so you're in good shape. If you don't have a cite.org profile, just email membership@cite.org and we can help get you set up. There are a couple different ways that you can access the online communities. You can go directly to community.cite.org, or if you're on cite.org, there's a link for communities, and if you click on online community, it will pop it open. If you're already logged in, then you should have no issue. It'll just pop open the communities. If you're not logged in, then you'll have to log in to your cite.org profile, and then it will automatically redirect you after you've logged in. If you have multi-factor authentication turned on your profile, you may have to go through those steps before you log in, but once you do, it should redirect you. So I'm logged in as our lovely education programs manager, Eileen, because I'm an admin, so I see way more than everyone else. So I wanted to give it a little bit more of an accurate experience. So when you first log into the communities, you'll land on the page that we call the dashboard. This is where you'll see the most recent posts, or these ones here are pinned posts for any of the groups that you're in. So you'll see who posted it and which community they posted it from. You'll also see on the right-hand side, this is kind of our quick start / resources center. So you can, it just gives you a quick welcome and then some helpful getting started links. I will say we launched this last April. Last April. Sorry, my perception of time is a little skewed right now. And so we tried to do as much documentation to help the launch when we did it. So there are a lot of guides in here. And you'll see when I get into the Knowledge Center that there are more resources than what's linked here. And then if you can't find what you're looking for, or you still can't do what you need to do, you can always email support@cite.org, and the lovely Charlie Wooford, who's on this call, will either answer you, or if she's out, I'll answer you, and we'll get you the help that you need when you need it. There's also just some additional resources down here, like a link back to our website and our upcoming events and conference information, because those are common things. And this is just a quick getting started video. It's about, I think, a 2-minute version of the presentation that I'm doing today. So this will be recorded and shared out, but if you ever just want the quicker overview, you can watch this online communities overview video in here as well. So let's talk about creating a discussion real quick, just because it is right here, and we'll talk about it a little bit more in the groups, because there are a few different places that you can post one. So if you just want to go in and post a discussion, you can do that here. You just enter the title, call this test post, and I'm going to, this is the body of my message. So then it'll be defaulted to private because technically we require everyone to join the groups in order to post or see any of the posts in them. So if you see that private, don't worry about it, just leave it checked because we don't technically allow public posting. And so then you'll just pick the community that you want to post it to. I added Eileen to our test group, so I'll do it here. It does have some rich text options and a WYSIWYG editor, so you can add some things. I will preface that with it doesn't come through in the emails, just to give you a heads up. I'm sure some of you have seen that, but this is my test message. I'm going to post it. And you'll see now Eileen posted her test post in test. Anyone who's in that group will get an email notification if they have that turned on, and we'll talk about the email notifications and how to update those. If they don't have it turned on, they can always log in. They'll also get a notification up here in the notifications at the top. All right, so let's talk about groups. If you click on the groups tab at the top, you'll see all of the groups that you're part of. By default, when you create a CITE.org profile, you'll be added to your local regional group based on the county selected for your LEA information. So you might log in and see that you're in a regional group and it might not make sense. It could be either if you've changed LEAs and it has the wrong county or it has your old county and you need to update it, just let us know because that is something that you can't update in your CITE.org profile by yourself. But here you'll see all of your groups. If you're a paid CITE member, you're automatically added to the CITE member community. I mentioned at the beginning that all of our data is managed from your CITE.org profile. So in order to join a group, you'll see there's not really a way to join other groups. You'll only see the groups that you're already a part of. And that's because that's managed in your CITE.org profile. So in your profile, and I apologize because this is mine and not Eileen, so it's going to look a little crazier. You'll see profile. And there is a guide on how to do this because I know I'm jumping back and forth, so I apologize. But there's a field in your profile that says additional interest groups. So I'm in all of them, and this is where you can add any other groups that you want to join. There are specific groups that we add you to. So you'll see, I think Eileen had the CTO Mentor graduates. That group is only for CTO Mentor graduates. Same with TMAP and KIT. So there are certain groups that will add you to that you won't have access to add yourself to, but all of the regional group communities, and we have a few other special interest group communities, you can join those on your own if you'd like to. I know some people will join other regional groups just to kind of see the things that they're doing and the discussions that they're having as well. You'll see you're also part of the CITE announcements community. So the reason why we created this community is because we put everyone, both members and non-members there to do one place for announcements that pertain to all of our community. We'll do CITE member specific ones in the member community, but the CITE announcements go to everyone. You technically have access to post here, but we ask that you don't because we can't turn off your access to post there. I'm working with the company to see if we can make you all view only. But we ask that if you have specific discussions that you want to post to, you either use the member community or, if you're a CTO Mentor graduate and not and just post to that community, you post to that one or your local regional group because we try to run the CITE announcements. All right, under the Connect tab, this is where you'll see anyone who is in the online community. So it's basically anyone who has a profile in CITE.org. We featured all of the staff and board because we're most of the ones with photos. But if you scroll down, you'll see it just kind of shows initials. So it looks a little bit nicer with photos. So I will ask you, please add a profile photo to your CITE.org profile so it will sync over because we love seeing your lovely face when you post and it helps to put a face to a name. You'll also see on the side here, you can search for people. So if you're looking for someone specifically, let's look for Halen. Oh, she's right there already, but you can search for someone specifically. You can search in specific groups. And then we have a field in your profile when you're filling out your application that asks what your roles and responsibilities are. So this actually feeds over from there. So I'm going to clear my search. If I wanted to see anyone who selected posted, let's say, project management. I could select on that as a filter, and we can see anyone who has that associated in their profile. So if you're looking for someone who does cybersecurity specifically, you can try and find those people to connect with. You can also visit someone's profile. So I'm going to go back to, oops, let me clear this real quick. I'm going to go back to Halen, and I'm going to go to her profile, and then I can follow them or message them if I wanted to. There is a chat feature built into, sorry, I didn't realize those bars were up. There is a chat feature built in. So if you wanted to chat with someone, you would click message, and then I could start a chat message here. I'm not going to because I'm on Eileen's profile, but if you want to test it out, you can send me a message and I'll get a million notifications, but that's okay. All right, oops, let's go back to connect. So that's pretty much it for the profile and the connecting. Our next tab over is the jobs. So if you have a job opening or you're looking for a job, we do have a job board on here. So I highly recommend, if you're looking, to browse here. If you have a job, to check it out. There is a guide on how to post a job here. So you would just click create and job. I mentioned, you could create a discussion in multiple places. You can also create a discussion up here. So you can create a job, and then the required link, or the required information, is at least the title, the company, and the link. So you don't have to fill in anything else. You'll see there's a post under, and we get this question a lot because people get hung up here. You can post it directly to a group if you want to, and it will send a notification, which is nice, but then you'll really limit your pool. If you want to post it publicly, you would just leave this post under completely blank, and anyone who logs into the online communities will be able to see your job posting. So I recommend leaving it blank so that way more people will see the opening, but I know sometimes people only want to post it to their regional group or only post it to site members, and you can do that. I will warn you that if you do that, you'll get that private box again, and it will have to be checked in order to post it because it is a private community. All right, so our knowledge center. So this is something, and a big part of the reason why we went with this online community provider, because they had a resource called collections that a lot of other systems didn't. And this actually aligned with some of our strategic plan initiatives, which was building out essentially a resource center of things like job description and any other technical resources. So I mentioned when you first logged in, on the sidebar, there's those lists of links and guides of how to do things in the communities. We actually have a collection in the Knowledge Center for online community resources. So it has everything, including that overview video, and then how to do a bunch of other things in the communities as well. So if you ever need additional documentation, you can find that here. We're actually going through right now and updating some of the guides to make sure they're a little more streamlined, or seeing if there are any things that we're missing and adding more guides. So this will continue to get flushed out a little bit more as well. There's been a ton of AI policy, or a lot of questions around AI policy and things like that. And some of our members have been kind enough to share some of their resources. I think I saw Tony Ramirez, one of our board members, actually come in, who recently uploaded their board policies, and we've added them to this collection. So if you're looking for resources around a specific topic, we try to pull any discussion posts or anything that's posted that has more of tangible resources versus just a question, because there's a lot of questions around AI in the discussion posts, but we want to make sure that when you're looking in the Knowledge Center or in the collection, there's something specific that you can get out of looking at these resources. So Andrea recently posted these AI policy templates on behalf of David Thurston at San Bernardino County. So if you're looking for AI specific things, there are things in the Knowledge Center available for you. We also started building out a cybersecurity collection, so you can find some of the things there. If you see a resource in the communities that you think would be good for a collection, but it's not there, shoot us an email at support@cite.org and send us a link to the discussion post or whatever post it is, and then we can go in and add that to it. We also have our advocacy resources by year, so you can go back and see advocacy resources from last year, and then you can see any of our advocacy resources that are posted for this year. You do have to be a member of the group in order to see resources that were added. So for example, this 2024 advocacy resources, that's locked down to members only. So if you're not a paid CITE member, then you may not have access. I don't know for sure if the collection may show up for you, but if you click in, you might not see anything if you're not a member. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at the resources in the Knowledge Center. And thank you, Justin, for adding or for sending that guide on how to update your profile how to update your headshot in your profile. One last thing about the Knowledge Center, if you have a recommendation for a collection, which I know there's probably a lot, we just want to make sure we have enough resources to build out a collection, which is why we're kind of starting them as we go. But if you see a few things in the online communities and you're like, hey, it would be great to start a collection on this, just send us an email and we can get that started as well. The last tab at the top just points you back to CITE.org. So if you want to go back to CITE.org, you click it and it will take you back to your profile. I mentioned at the top, this little bell shows you any notifications. So if you have email notifications turned on, you'll automatically get the email for that. But it also does send you a notification for new postings in any groups that you're in or any new chat messages that you've received. We talked a little bit about the chat. So if you click on it at the top here, you'll be able to go into the chat and see any chat messages that were sent. You can click on the conversation. I started one with Halen, but didn't send a message, which is why it says there's no chat history. I'm not going to click through Eileen's messages, but you'll see your inbox here if you want to go and see your chat history. If you're ever looking for something specific, let's say you're like, oh, I remember someone posted something about, Aries or something like that. You can search by keyword and then it will show you anything that has Aries either in the title or in the body, or if it has a tag of Aries, you can see it in there. So you can use the search feature. We did pull posts from our old online communities, so it should have posts from, I think, 2019 forward. So if there were things during the pandemic that you remember being posted on the old online communities, you should still be able to search for it here. As I mentioned, there are a few different ways to create discussions in different posts. You can click create at the top. You can also create a discussion that way. It just opens the WYSIWYG editor in a separate page versus being embedded on that main dashboard page. So it's the same process. You fill in your title. You can do a subtitle if you'd like. You can add tags if you'd like. And then you put the body of your message and then you select the group. The private's grayed out, so you can't even change it. And then you click post. Or you can click Save Draft if you want to draft a post and wait a little bit to post it. There's a couple different types of posts that you can do. So you can do an article if you want to write more of an article. It looks the same as a discussion post, but you can submit it as an article versus a discussion. The difference is if you're in a group, let's see here. It will show under articles. You know what? That's not a good one. Let me use the site announcement because I did use the, I think I posted these as articles. So if you go into the articles section, I have all of the how-tos that I've posted to the site announcements here. So it does show up in a different place. I think most people tend to default to the discussion because that's kind of that's the main one that people post. But just to give you a heads up, there are different kinds that you can post if you wanted to. You actually can also import an article, which is really cool. So let me go to our blog real quick. Plug for the Insight blog if you don't read it, or if you want to do a guest member post, please let us know. So I'm going to pull this article from our blog and I can actually import it here. I'm going to import it into our test group and do private, click import, and it will actually pull everything from the article into it. So if you have an article that you want to share with the members, you can actually import an article as well. It even pulls all of the buttons and photos as well. And then you can either save your draft, publish it, or click open, and it would open to see what it looks like. and then you'd have to, it will only open it as a draft when you click open, so it won't actually publish it. So if you wanted to publish it, you'd have to click there, and now it's published to the test group. We also have the job, so that's how you would create a job. We talked about that. And then you can also import a video from YouTube or Vimeo if you saw a cool video that you wanted to share with the community. It's the same exact process. You just paste the YouTube link or the Vimeo link here and then select the group that you want to add it to. If you click on your profile photo in the top right corner, this is where you can this is where you can adjust your notification settings and see which profile information from your CITE.org profile is being pulled over. So if you click on my profile, this is where Eileen's bio, this is all being pulled from the online communities. This is where you'll also see your drafts. So if you have any draft posts that are saved, let's say you go away from the online communities and then you want to go back and see what you have drafted, you would see it under the drafts, and it'll default to all posts, whether it be a discussion, article, video, any of that. It will all show there. You can also see if you've co-authored posts, which most people don't, they just kind of post on their own. And then you can see any discussions that you've posted under your discussions, and then the articles, jobs, videos, if you've added any documents, anything in the Knowledge Center. You can see your groups here as well, and any content that you're following, if you're following any content. If you want to update your notification settings, you'll do that in your account settings. So you'll see I mentioned a lot of this is grayed out. That's because that's being pulled over from your CITE.org profile. You can add a few things, but for the most part, it is being pulled over. To update your notification settings, you can click Manage Notifications. You can either get an email digest daily, weekly, daily, or hourly. Or you can do real-time notifications. So if you want emails as posts are coming in, then you would select real-time. You can turn off email notifications. I would say don't. If you can, just do a digest, either weekly or daily, if you want to, declutter your inbox a little bit. I will say the online communities have been very active lately, which is great, but I know it can be a lot of noise in your inbox if you do have the real-time notifications turned on. And then any mentions and message notifications, you get an email when you get a chat message. So if you have that selected as real time, you'll get an email when you get a chat message or a mention. If you have that unchecked, you won't get a notification. The only way you'll be able to see chat messages is if you log in and you see it here in your notifications section at the top. You can also see your groups you belong to just as a list here as well, so you can see which groups you're in multiple places. And then last but not least, if you need, you can also see groups here too. So yeah, you can get to your groups in like 6 different places in the online communities. And last but not least, if you're done and you want to sign out, you can sign out here. Now, I did go over primarily the online version of the online communities because I will say in years past, we used a true listserv where it was only email. But one of our goals with switching to the new online communities was building more of, a one-stop shop for our members to find resources and engage with others. So that being said, you can submit discussion posts. It will default to a discussion. So if you ever wanted to do an article, a job, or anything else, you cannot submit via email, but you can submit posts via email. It's pinned here for the online community email addresses. Now, I'm going to caution you for doing this because we've seen a lot of issues because people will forward emails and then it has some HTML formatting in it, or it just has stuff in it that when it tries to translate to a post in the platform, it doesn't pull anything. So people have had to delete it and repost. Honestly, I know some people don't prefer it, but it's a lot easier and you can get a better idea of what your post is going to look like if you do it in the online communities. But if you really want to post it via email and it's just simple text questions, you can post it via email. All of the email addresses are listed here. And just keep in mind, you do have to be a member of that group in order to post to it. So if you wanted to post to all of them, you can't. You can't just do a BCC email, I guess, unless you're part of all of the groups. But we try not to do that because we don't want to spam multiple groups, especially for the people who have real-time notifications turned on. So, I understand cross-posting maybe to your member group and your local regional group, which you can totally do, but we ask that you avoid spamming to multiple groups if possible. And then the email notifications, if you do receive the email notifications, they are not really rich text. The only thing that they do pull are hyperlinks. So if you include a photo in a post or anything like that, just keep in mind that it might not come through on email, which I know it can be frustrating, and we're trying to work with the company to see if we can change that a little bit. I know they're working on some new email templates. All right, I know I just threw a ton at you all in 25 minutes. So I do want to open it up for questions. And like I said, we'll be this was recorded, so we'll be posting it. And you can always reach out to support@cite.org if you have any additional questions. But I just wanted to open it up for questions and maybe show something specific if there was something more specific anyone was looking for. No, we're all good. Feel free to use the chat too if you want to.
I'll jump in. I was waiting the 10 seconds. Don't like to jump in first. We've been contemplating some of the routine IT operations in our shop, and the concept of drafting kind of an overview of how we utilize the Microsoft licensing. And was thinking, well, if we're drafting something for ourselves and maybe it benefits the community, maybe we would publish that, a generic version of that. I think you mentioned something earlier, a repository. Where might that best reside?
Sure. So that's in our knowledge center. So we have the collections there. So I guess you said it was about Microsoft licensing?
So how we basically roll out imaging, like a new computer.
Gotcha. Okay.
We do, certain steps, we use certain licensing, we do a certain process, and we've just discovered recently that we're compliant with our CAMSA license in that process. I thought, hey, that'd be great to share with the community.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So what you would do is you would just draft the post that you wanted to share out with any of the resources that you wanted, and then just let us know when you do it, and we can work with you to create a collection that's properly titled and add that in there, because you all don't have access to create collections. They're created at the admin level. So yeah, that's why also if you recognize any other resources that other people post where, it might be great to start a collection, we can definitely do that. So just because it's not here yet doesn't mean we can't do it. So once you have that ready, if you want to connect with us, we can talk about next steps, or if you just want to go ahead and post it and then let us know once you've posted it, we can work with you directly to get a collection started and add it as part of the Knowledge Center.
Perfect. So to flesh out a little bit, when you say post, would that just be to the general listserv and then you're linking from there, or the general community?
Yeah, exactly. So here, I can give you an example. So in the groups, let me go to the site member community. I'll use Tony's example because he's on here. Let me see if I can find it, because I know he posted it last week. Here it is. So Tony posted 15 days ago the classroom AI resources, and he just posted a little bit of context and then linked to it. So what we did was, and I say we, it was actually Charlie. She had the AI collection created, and she went in and she added the post to here. So you'll see the classroom AI resources here. So it's just aggregated based on posts from the communities.
Excellent. Thanks for showing that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Any other questions? All right. I do have another webinar at 1 o'clock. So if you do have a question, you can always email support@cite.org. And I mentioned this is recorded, so we will share it out if you want to go back and watch it, because I know I moved really quickly. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out to us if you do have questions. And I look forward to seeing all of you post on the online communities at some point. So have a great day. And thank you so much for attending our first Engage with CITE. Hopefully you'll be at some of the future ones. Have a great day.